Hello there, people of the internet. So today I wanted to make a video discussing the insane theories that I've had regarding Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and its story. Now, some of which I feel like we have all discussed in the comments a little bit, but a lot of it are just minor details and things. Just kind of predicting how I think the story is going to end up. And honestly, you guys, with this whole page of notes right in front of me, with everything that I've kind of thought about with this game, it has made me so excited for it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This game has so much promise and potential just based on the one trailer we've gotten so far. I've rewatched that trailer so many times. I've picked apart so many little lines and details from each of the individual moments that we see, and it has I just there's no other better way to articulate it than saying that this game, based on this one trailer, has so much to unpack, so much promise, so much to that when I see it, I'm just like, this game could be really good. Of course, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, man, he's setting himself up for some sort of disappointment, probably, and maybe I am, maybe I'm gonna crash and burn with this, but you guys, I don't know, man. I'm listening to my gut on this one, and because my gut, if you remember the video I made before Xenoblade 2 dropped, my gut with Xenoblade 2 was kind of negative, but my gut with this game is giving me really positive vibes, guys, through and through. But in any case, let's get right into it. I want to talk to you guys about these crazy theories I've had, how this is going to connect to this Xenoblade world and lore overall, how this story is going to conclude, everything like that, and, maybe it'll be fun in, 7-8 months to see if these theories end up coming true and we have the game in our hands finally. So before we get into the theories, I actually just want to throw this out here too. I do plan on making more Xenoblade 3 content in the future, but at the moment, the well is running a little dry for me. It'll be a little difficult for me to come up with more ideas until we get more information. So I just wanted to know from you guys, do you want to see just more Xenoblade 3 talking videos, me talking about Xenoblade 3 until I just can't anymore? Let me know in the comments if you do, and I guess I'll make a like goal for this video too, right? If this video hits 30 likes by the end of the week, 30, I will make another video on Xenoblade 3 in the next week or so. So again, let me know. We'll see what we can do. If not, I'll just go back to doing the other things I was doing anyway. So the first thing I actually want to mention is we were given some new information via Nintendo on Twitter about the roles of our two main characters and what they do, Noah and Mio that being. So apparently Noah and Mio are both these soldiers known as offsears, and offsears, what they do is, after the kind of dust has settled and combat has ensued, they both mourn the loss of soldiers on the battlefield by playing these flutes that we see in the trailer. And I made an off-kilter comment when I was first watching the trailer. The first thing I said is this like a samurai story? And now that we learn this little detail, I can see that my first impressions were actually kind of correct. In a way, this game does seem to be influenced a lot by samurai combat culture, where there's a bit of mutual respect on the battlefield for the soldiers that have fallen, and there's a bit of mutual respect on both sides to maybe lay down the weapons once one victor has been decided. It's not just needless bloodshed, or bloodshed to the point where it's barbaric, or they're fighting, or one side is fighting and they're obviously want every single person dead. They're able to put down their weapons for a second and just embrace the culture of the warfare, which I'm proud of myself for that one. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. for kind of calling that little bit of a story element. So that's number one in terms of crackpot theories. This is going to be heavily influenced by samurai shit. So the next thing I think is going to be evident in the story for this game, I think it's going to open up Romeo and Juliet, right? Where our main characters are actually all connected and they're friends with each other. We have this world where characters can peacefully coexist in between times of war, before times of war with each other, grow friendships and bonds with people in neighboring lands, and really get to know each other. And they can peacefully coexist in this world. But then when times of war come, they're driven to fight each other, despite their friendship, because of their differing philosophies and the reasonings for the combat on either side of Kiev or Agnes in the war. And I think that will be a very compelling story element when two friends are forced to, lock in battle as a result of some heritage or creed or necessity, either for survival or one side or the other, which I want to get into the reasons why next. So there's obviously a lot of different reasons for why these two factions could be fighting. We don't really have the concrete answers yet, but I'm wondering, right, based on the mentions from the story, just very briefly in the trailer, some of the lines we've gotten, I'm wondering if this conflict will be driven either by philosophy or by necessity. Now, it seems like at first glance is going to be driven by philosophy, right? And I think that's going to be the underlying theme of the conflict between the two warring factions, Kiev and Agnes. But I don't think that's going to be what drives them. I think the philosophy behind them will be essentially the endgame philosophies of Xenoblade 1 and 2. The side Kiev that uses the godless kind of mechanical creatures will be representing a faction that believes in no gods, a faction that believes in a world without gods. Much like at the end of Xenoblade 1 was the philosophy of our main characters then. And then the philosophy of Xenoblade 2 will kind of be a faction that uses ether. It, believes in this existence of an all-divine entity and worships it and wants to kind of follow it to a bit of a destiny in some way. And we're going to see those two kind of philosophies clash with each other in their differences, and we're going to wonder why, but obviously just by the nature of it, we're going to see why these two factions are fighting each other on philosophy alone. I think that maybe will be the underlying tone and the underlying concept of the fight, but I don't think that will be the surface level reason why they're fighting. I think the surface level reason why they're fighting is likely has to do with something, again, borrowing from the story elements of Xenoblade 1 and 2, primarily from 1, I feel like our main character Noah, is told in some capacity that he will be the next vessel for Zanza or for the Bionis. Right? We hear, I believe it is Lance, just yell out to him and say, "I refuse to believe you're him." That makes me think, are they aware that maybe Zanza is a form of being that could be rebirth, and the world is aware of that fact, and they see him as some sort of black sheep entity, a la BioShock Infinite, where Booker DeWitt's branded in his arm, and everyone knows that he's this kind of evil being or something like that. Is that the similar case with Noah? That specific reason, maybe Agnes is fighting Kiev, right? Because as one of our characters, Tyon, says during a little snippet in the fight scene, that they're not your friends anymore, they're his fuel. Again, kind of hearkening back to Zanza and people kind of being born into him and using their life energy to kind of rebirth him very slowly. Is it something along those lines where the people of Kiev are either harvesting the people of Agnes for sustenance, or is it that they don't want the people of Kiev to die on their own land, and they're fearful of it because they know it's going to rebirth whatever the Bionis or Zanza is and cause destruction that we see visibly in the trailer, by the way, too, because as we see, the Urian Titan is pierced by the sword of the Mechonis. Okay, hey guys, me again. I threw this one in here in the middle of the video because I recorded this after the fact, but it kind of dawned on me as I was editing the video, right? And I was rewatching the trailer again. They mention, or at least Mio mentions in the trailer, right? What use is it filling up these flickering clocks in our eyes, right? So I'm wondering, right, is the central conflict that in order for these characters to continue their life, to keep alive through time, right? Perhaps they have to kill people on the other side, and then their bodies, their ether energy, whatever it may be, is used to kind of give life almost vampirically to the people who killed them, right? Does that make sense to you guys? I think that makes sense to me, right? They're fighting each other in order to stay alive. If one side kills one side of a conflict, they kill one person in war, and then they regain their youth, they regain their life. Is that it? I think I just figured it out. I was wondering what the actual conflict would be. I think that's it, you guys. I think they're fighting each other to stay alive, literally, like to kind of almost gain infinite life with time. I think would be interesting to see in a story like this. Of course, I could be completely off, but again, the fact that these are even possibilities based on the small amount we're given in this trailer, it's got me so excited, you guys. Okay, so the next thing, there's a bit of a line here, right, that I appreciate from one of our main characters. They say, all that time that you've got. They mention that. And that makes me think, is this person, I believe it was Mio who said this, is this person just talking about Hyentia and the fact that they live for a very, very long time? Or is it maybe that there's something about the people of Kiev where maybe it's because they're reused and recycled for sustenance that they have almost infinite lifespan? That line stuck in my head a little bit, right? Obviously, maybe that's another point of contention for the people of Agnes as well. If someone were to live for these extended periods of time, perhaps it kind of goes against this inherent idea they have of a finite life and mortal beings, and that, it's only gods who should live forever, something like that, keeping that in mind as well. There are other characters too, so all the characters in the story I want to talk about that we've seen so far. Now, I have a very good feeling they are related to or descendants of main actors that have existed in the Xenoblade Chronicles universe. I think the character Uni, the half-breed Hyentia, is possibly related to Tyrea or Teelin, though I can't 100% lean one way or the other on that one yet, but I have a feeling it's one of those two that they're related to. And it's very likely, since we don't see Tyrea at all in the trailer, but we do see Melia, and I doubt she's related directly to Melia. But a character who I do think is directly related to another character in the story is Mio. I think she is 100% a daughter or descendant of Nia. And I think that's probably driving her motivation to fight in the war on the side of Agnes, because she kind of wants to follow in her mother or motherly figure's footsteps. And I think the biggest indicator of that is that Mio has what looks like a core crystal kind of on her chest, eerily similar to that of Nia's, by the way. So I'm again wondering, how does this tie into the events of the story? Does she have a personal stake in this war? And to what extent is she going to kind of tear down her friends for her family? The next character, I think, has kind of a complex backstory to them based on the little details we're given, is Tyon, the guy who uses kind of the origami craft monster things. Now, I think, based on his design alone, right, he looks like a humanoid character. He almost looks like a character that would come out of Xenoblade 1. But as we've learned from just his color palette and previous, information, he is actually on the side of Agnes. So I'm wondering if he is kind of swayed to the side of Agnes, but maybe originally came from Kiev's in some capacity. I think that's mostly evident by just the arm on, or the wrist device he has, that seemingly allows him to control these paper origami creatures and use ether, much like, Sharla's gun in Xenoblade 1 allowed her to use and manipulate ether without actually having the power to physically herself. Is it something like this character moved to this faction because of a difference in philosophy, especially since he's the one who says the line too, that, they're not your friends anymore, they're his fuel. I'm wondering, does this character, have some sort of is this character swayed to the side of Agnes? Are they a character that, kind of jumps to a different faction? And will that be kind of the biggest growth and aspect of his character? Again, super interesting as a character concept too, right? Someone who maybe was born on one side of war, but is swayed to the other because of a difference of opinion. That's so unique, so cool. And I'm happy that I'm able to at least theorize that this exists in a character just based on their design alone. That shows that this game, again, so much promise, but I'm gonna gush about it so much. But the next thing, so I think Lans, or Lans, I don't know how to pronounce his name entirely yet. He looks like he's Machina. He kind of looks like he's just Machina. I'm wondering if maybe he is a disciple of like someone like of Egil or something, but maybe not. But at the same time, he also kind of looks like a half-breed of that and a Malthus in a way, or whatever the hell a Malthus is. I don't know what like creature he could be seen as. And I'm wondering if maybe he's kind of like a mutt in a way, you know what I mean? Like a mutt of these two sides, and he exists on the side of Agnes, or on the side of Kiev instead of Agnes. That would be an interesting concept for a character as well. So he's another one. I'm wondering if maybe he's a hybrid of a character from Xenoblade 1 and 2 in Birth, and maybe that's kind of something that makes him stand out from everyone around him, which would make sense too, because he's the most unique looking character in the entire trailer, right? There's no one else we see in this entire story trailer who looks anything like him. So maybe he is a mutt in a way, maybe he is like a half and half, a character from 1 and 2. So that's another crazy theory I have. So the next bit of a crazy theory I have is I think one of our 6 main characters are going to die in this game, and one of our 6 main characters is going to be the one to kill them. I do not know who that will be, and I do not know who will be the one to kill them, but just knowing how Xenoblade works, the story, I have a really good feeling this is going to be the game where one of our main party members dies and stays dead. Because, I mean, they killed off Vandam, and that was like, I wouldn't say that was a shocking moment, because I feel like I saw it coming in a way. I don't know, that's me personally. And then they killed off Fiora just to have her come back. So that really wasn't like a death. But like, I feel like this game, they're probably going to kill someone and actually kill them dead, They're going to kill them dead. And if they don't kill a main character, I think they're going to kill one of the recurring characters. Like, I still kind of think that the girl we see as a seer or as an offseer in the trailer looks a lot like Fiora. And if that is Fiora and they just kill Fiora, that would be funny to me. That they actually kill her in full. Or maybe they just kill Neo or Amelia or both of them. I don't know. So on top of this as well, I think that Noah is likely some sort of disciple of Shulk, based on what you guys have mentioned and what I've thought as well. He's probably maybe Shulk's like great nephew or something, and is related to Dunban directly. Next, so obviously this game is going to combine the worlds of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. In concept, but I think we've all kind of seen it at this point, that's going to exist in gameplay as well. We're going to see like Sword Valley literally mixed together with Moradane. We're going to see the Aerith Sea quite literally mixed together with the Cloud Sea. We're going to see Tantal mixed with Valak Mountain. We're going to see the Uriah mixed with Satoral Marsh, things like that. I think we're gonna have this mesh of these two worlds colliding in a unique way, where we have landmarks that are identifiable and distinguished from Xenoblade 1 and 2, but they're going to be reimagined in brand new and unique ways. But I think that one's kind of obvious. I think we all expected that to an extent. And so, the number one thing, I think, the big theory about the ending of this game. Now, we haven't been told who the true enemy of the story is. We haven't been given that yet, and I don't think we're going to get it until we get to the very end of the game. But if I had to take a guess as to what the true enemy is, I think It's Alvis / Ontos. Why do I think that? Well, because it's really all I have to go off of so far, but also the kind of tying together of those two characters from Definitive Edition and 2, you know, Ontos being the third missing Aegis, and Alvis kind of being this computer-generated AI that almost created the universe of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, or this combination of characters, I think will have some sort of underlying motive that will drive them to kind of being the true antagonist of the story. What those motivations are, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really thought about it a whole lot, but I just hope it's not something as simple as they really want to be the rulers of the multiverse or something like that, or they want to be able to have infinite knowledge and live forever or something like that. I think that would be a bit hackneyed. I hope it's something a little more complex. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm back again because I found out another little tidbit of information that I was thinking of, because I didn't think it was significant at first, but I think it's significant now. So apparently all 6 of our main characters have like this mark or emblem on their bodies, and I haven't figured out what it means yet. A mark of their heritage? Is it a mark of their bloodline? Are they all on the side of Kieves instead of Agnes, or is it something that kind of links together their fates in a way? I don't know. Maybe they just all got matching tattoos one day and when they were best friends or something like that. I don't know. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think? Some crackpot crazy theories about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them, even if I don't respond to all of them. I like to hear what you guys have to think. In any case, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. See you in the next one.